I think for Move it is slightly different. So we tend to work predominantly with freelancers, but within that I would say we work regularly with the same freelancers. Yeah. So and I think that's, you know, things like the podcast projects, we need people who can work on that project, but we might not necessarily have another project coming up for a few months after that. So it's helpful for us to have basically people when we need them, and then between projects. You pay as you go. Absolutely. But I think there's lots of challenges in that as well. And I think a lot of them are ones that you've sort of detailed like here as well. I think sort of, you know, fit, and having somebody with freelancing, you've got somebody who doesn't have a permanent attachment to your business, but they're going to be interacting with clients. They're going to be talking to people. And I think, you know, certainly for me, I tend to work with the same freelancers, and I'm often checking in with them saying, excellent, I know we're working on this project. Oh, tell me what you've got coming up. And like, I've always got my eye on, you know, if this client's going to go again, I'd really like to have the same person on it. And actually I work really well with this person. So, you know, tell me about your other work. What have you got? So that I can almost like climb the ladder with them to be like at the top of their list. Like, would they almost, in that thing about you saying with recruitment, it's not just you looking for someone, what's someone looking for with you? Like, I'm always aware that I want to be like, hey, you know, if I've got a good project, I want to be at the top of your list as well. And I think, you know, that's something that you really sort of have to bear in mind.
I suppose with your industry as well, it's a little bit different, because the type of freelancers that you're looking for to do the work you're looking for them to do, they'll have a portfolio of work you can review before you say you are the one. Whereas if you're recruiting an individual to complete a job, you've got you can contact their existing or previous employer, which, you know, you send a letter and it will go through to a HR department or a manager of that department, and they'll say, did they turn up on time? Yes. A couple of tick boxes. That's the best you're going to get. Unless you know the person that's previously employed them, and you can have a you know, an off the cuff phone call with them. But it's a gamble. Whereas in your industry, it's a little bit different. You do get to see what that person's producing.
Yeah, definitely. And I think there's other similarities, like, you know, like you said, there's sort of, you know, that word of mouth. Like, you know, if I'm working on a certain project and I know that we're going to need some, you know, we've got a producer, but we're going to need an extra one, or we're going to need somebody else to do sound or whatever it is, I often ask existing freelancers, right, I know you work on projects like this, can you recommend someone that, you know, can do sound for us or whatever it is? Because that is also, exactly like you say, can be really helpful. It's almost like a little bit pre-approved, which I think is helpful.